Wadau, this is probably the worst podcast episode that has ever been produced by Obinna TV Studios, because the conversation was just messy, and I think that was because the topic of discussion was sensitive and emotions got the better of them. The guest that had been invited, the controversial Cassypool, denied the fact that the elections, the recent Tanzania elections, were poorly handled, something that led to a disaster. Now, he even proceeded to accuse individuals such as Larry Madowo for misrepresenting Tanzania. Let's watch this.
Now we're gonna be talking matters Tanzania. The elections just got concluded, and the president won with 91%. Does that make mathematical?
97.6%. That is not even a victory. That is a triumph.
You know, the problem is that you people don't understand what happened, and you are very vocal on social media, especially the young Kenyans who don't understand the dynamic of politics.
Okay. Please enlighten us.
The election,
But 97.6%. There's nothing to explain there. Iyo tu ni Buddha bana. 97.6%.
major opposition nye wanajita Chadema walikata kuingia uchaguzi. They boycotted the election and they said we are not going to be part and parcel of this election.
Why?
They had their own reason.
First of all, that is a lie. That is not what happened. Chadema did not boycott the election. Chadema was disqualified from the election. Now it may happen after Tundu Lissu, their leader, has been thrown into jail. And there is another political opponent mwenye alikuwa na nguvu. Alikuwa anaitwa Luhiga Mpina. Luhiga Mpina alikuwa wa ACT Wazalendo, kitu kama hiyo, wa hiyo chama. So this guy was bad on the grounds kwamba alikuwa na some illegal issues. So basically huyu madhe removed all the strong contestants, akabaki na wale weak contestants. So wale wale contestants wengine wenye walikuwa strong, they never came out fully to vote because they had no hope. Watu wao hawako kwa ballot. So why are you voting? That is what happened.
Did you hear them say that?
Are you getting my point?
Did you hear them
they
say
boycotted? How do you even boycott election and you want reforms at the last minute?
Okay.
When they boycotted the election, there was no...
That is also not true. Because hizi reforms ni vitu zimekuwa zikiimbwa for a very long time. Hizi reforms, they are 1977 constitution and electoral laws zenye zina favor hii chama cha huyu madhe. So people were like, hizi laws zenye ziko saa hizi hazitafanya nini? Hazitakuwa fair. Hizi elections hazitakuwa fair. So to ensure there is a free and fair elections, let us change these laws and these. But they did not do that. That is the...
After the election, there was no opposition.
Because the opposition had been shut down and silenced.
So Mama had to win 90, 99, whatever, 90-something% because his people came out and voted for Mama.
Okay.
So tuache tabia kusema ya kwamba alipiga. Chadema did not participate in that election. All these rumors going around, we understand, tunajua ni ya kwamba there is interest and the West in a push.
Bro, we cannot always say that. Hawezi kuwa sasa every single time kuna ngori kwa inchi, you're like the West. Sometimes hata pia sisi Africans, we get ourselves in shitty situations. Hatuwezi zingizia US ama sijui UK, ama sijui Canada. Hapana, sometimes it is our fault. This is our fault.
Just to taint mama and to make mama look like a bad person. I'll tell you for free. There is this animal called democracy that was introduced in Africa by the West. Kuna mwana filosofia anaitwa Plato. Go read the book called The Republic. Aliongea kuhusu the best and the worst ruling system, the government ruling system. And among the worst ruling system is democracy and then the tyranny.
Hapo pia amesema ukweli. Lakini I have my objections. Kuna vitu ambazo there are reasons why Plato aliplace hizo systems of governance in that order. Alianza na aristocracy, akaeka timocracy, akaeka there's another system called oligarchy, alafu akaweka democracy, alafu akaweka tyranny. Ya tutafika hapo hivyo. Let's keep watching.
Democracy is a tool used by the West kwa kuhakikisha kwamba if you are a leader, if you don't play along with them, they tint you. And democracy iko na mandugu wake wawili ambao tuko nao ni human rights na tuko nao ni international media.
Okay, first of all, I don't know what Cassypool means when he says that the West is using democracy to taint Africa or something like that. Okay, democracy is a system of governance kama zile zingine. But nataka turudi to why huyu Plato aliweka democracy hapa chini na tyranny. First of all, you have to understand the background of Plato. Plato was a philosopher, and as a philosopher, he naturally valued wisdom. And because aristocracy is defined as the rule by wise people or wise men, ndiye akaweka hapa hivi juu. So Plato alikuwa anaona like wasewe who can rule effectively with sophistication and efficiency are wise people. But now democracy is a rule by the masses. Kwanza Plato hakuwa anadefine democracy as the rule by the people. Plato alikuwa anadefine democracy as the rule by the masses. Na pia alikuwa na critique na alikuwa skeptical na critical of democracy kwa sababu the first reason ni our masses, it does not necessarily mean kwamba wase ni wise. People here kuna watu wajinga sana kwa hii masses na unawapatia chance ya kuongoza country ama state. Then the second reason alikuwa anaona there's too much freedom in democracy, and too much freedom without discipline it result into chaos. Na yeye alikuwa against that. And then the third thing alikuwa anaona a leader anaweza manipulate ama exploit this system of governance na akue tyrant. Ukipata tu mse mwenye ako charismatic ka Ruto, anaweza tumia hii system vibaya sana. Alafu nyinyi kama mtamcheck out, mtakuwa watu wa shujaa na mtafanya nini? Mtajikuta hii kitu imekuwa tyranny. Kitu kayo. Because yeye alikuwa anaona in democracy people are not necessarily wise. All a leader has to do to convince people to elect them or to keep them as a leader is to tell those people what they want. Because in democracy, people valued pleasure and their desires more than common good. Sijika mnanipata. That is why Plato was critical and skeptical of democracy. But the modern society imetafuta mbinu ya kumitigate hizo vitu zote za a leader kugeuka kuwa tyrant, mara masses they are not literate enough. And we are doing that by, first of all, kuna hiki tunaitwa separation of powers. All power haiko concentrated in one particular institution. Like for example, in Kenya, we have the legislature, we have the executive, and we have the judiciary. Unaona hizo vitu tatu. So power has been separated to avoid the centralization of power. Then we also have the rule of law. Now the rule of law inasaidia hizi states isikue like state isikue overridden easily na a particular leader. Msena kujua anasema tomorrow tunaenda hivi na wasu wanaenda hivyo, hapana. So we have the rule of law. You have to go through particular, certain processes in order to get approval. Kitu kama, we also have universal education and civil participation. We also have independent media. So all these measures zimekuwa established to avoid our democratic systems of governance or our democratic states descending into tyranny. So yes, Plato alikuwa skeptical na alikuwa na concerns zake, which are valid concerns. But as a modern society, we have put things in order to ensure that such a thing never happens.
Media house that we all know, I don't want to mention their name. Now, democracy comes in, they put the multi-party, ambapo kuna opposition inawasha moto, human rights comes in, and then the international media comes in, where your brother works in. I don't want to mention his name. So wakisha tint, wanena wanaambia leader, now you see, the world inakuangalia kwa different eyes. You need to do what we want. And if a leader is weak, definitely at a bow before the so-called white people.
But in Tanzania, huwezi sema ati sijui the leader is weak, sijui democracy. Wadau, from the beginning, there were telltale signs kwamba the elections of Tanzania zita produce nothing but disaster. Because watu walikuwa naimba hiyo kitu. Hawezi kuwa umeshika the leader of opposition umemweka ndani kwa grounds ambazo they are not even understandable. Alafu when activists wakienda huko hivyo, they seek an audience with you, unawa arrest, unawa humiliate. Bro, that is now how you do stuff. You're supposed to communicate as a leader. Hata kama sometimes Kenya, citizens of your country do not fully understand your vision and your plan and your ideas, then you have to do, like you have to become a proficient communicator. You have to ensure that your communication team communicate properly. That is what you're supposed to do, because we are your employers, bana. Sisi ndio tumekuweka hapo hivyo job. You have to tell us exactly what are you planning. Like, you are accountable and we will hold you accountable. We deserve that. So ukianza people don't understand me, so I'll just do whatever I want. Bro, no, man. The country belongs to us. The country belongs to the citizens of that country. They have, bro.
Mama Samia Suluhu is dedicated. She's dedicated. She loves her country so much. That's why I'm maintaining peace.
There is no peace. There is no peace in Tanzania ukiua watu. There is no peace in Tanzania ukizima internet. There is no peace in Tanzania ukiabduct wase. There is no peace in Tanzania if you're buying people's allegiance. There is no peace in Tanzania if you're not hearing, if you're not sitting down and holding dialogues with opposition. Bwana, tuache hiyo mchezo.
That's why I made a reconciliation. That's why today as we speak, anasema come, let's work together and find a way forward.
Okay.
Yes.
The video, we have some videos of Cassypool. Do you have them? Drop it like it's hot.
kazi ya vyombo vya habari ni kuelezea habari vile inafaa kuelezewa. Nimeona hiyo documentary ambayo wewe umeniuliza kwamba nimeiona na nimeitazama vizuri sana, lakini mbona wasielezee story ambayo ni yote complete story ambayo ilifika kiwango nyemefika? Mbona wajaelezea kwamba kuna wanawake ambao walibakwa na majambazi fulani pale? Mbona wajaongelea kuhusu kuna maaskari ambao ni askari wa jeshi ya polisi walipigwa risasi na watu ambao hawakujulikana, pia andamano, watu waliharibiwa mali? Mbona wajielezea? Tuchagasia ya pili kukaingiliwa na wanaharakati, alafu ya tatu kukaingiliwa na media ambao ni ya international kuenda kuripoti ya kwamba hivi na hivi imefanyika, na kuwa tu wakati kuna machafuko na wakati kuna vita ambao wao ndio wamepanga, wamejiwekelea na wakapanga. Mbona huyu mwanahabari mmoja ambao sitaki kumtaja jina, wewe unamjua, anatokeanga tu wakati kuna janga, watu wamefanyika, kuna machafuko, watu wamefanyika, hajai kuja kutangaza kwamba hapa Kongo kuna rasilimali ambazo zinachukuliwa na wazungu wanapeleka penye wanapeleka. Mbona sitangaze kuhusu hiyo? Mbona asitangaze kuhusu racism ambao zinafanyika Ulaya, ambao Waafrika wanateswa? Mbona wasitangaze kuhusu Palestina? Mbona tu wanakuja kwenye mainchi ambazo ni bikira, ama viongozi ambao wamesema kwamba muwezi kukuja kupora rasilimali za nchi zetu, inabidi wawatumie hawa wanahabari ambao ni international journalist. Naweza kuambia jambo moja, zote ambazo zilikuwa na machafuko, ambazo zilikuwa na mwagaji damu, kwanza hiyo nchi utapata kuna interest, na hizo interest lazima zikuwe taken care of, na hizo interest wakati zinapokuwa, lazima hawa watu ambao ni wakoloni watumie kwanza wanasiasa, watumie mara ya pili wanaharakati, alafu watumie mara ya tatu vyombo vya habari, alafu wanapoenda kueneza hiyo habari wanaenda kublackmail viongozi, kuambia unaona watu wako umeona kitu ambayo imetokea, utatupa rasilimali ama tuendelee kukuchafulia. Lakini kama kiongozi anatishika, kwa sababu wewe mwananchi wa kawaida unafurahi, unasema kwamba haya imefanyika, imeonekana, wanakugonganisha na kiongozi wako, wanaamua sasa, wanasema kwamba ndio tupoesha haya mambo, lazima ufanye vile sisi wakoloni tunataka. Ukiona rais yoyote ambaye anapendwa sana na wazungu, jua ya kwamba ameuza nchi yake. Ukiona rais ambaye anachukiwa sana na wazungu, jua anapenda nchi yake. Haya maneno yote ambayo tumeongea hapa, nataka nikueleze. Yaje kaka? Fresh mwanangu. Mungu anasaidia. Asalamu alaykum. Asante bana, asante. Ukiona kiongozi wote, na ndo maana ninasema kama hawa wazungu wanawapenda sana, ninakuuliza swali rahisi, mbona wasiende kwenye vijiji waelezee mazuri ama waoneshe vitu ambazo watu wanataka kusaidika? Mbona wanakuja tu wakati vita inatokezea? Mbona wanakuja wakati kuna umwagaji wa damu? Mbona wanakuja tu ni ya kwamba haya maneno yote ambayo yamefanyika inapangwa kuanzia na wapinzani, wanaharakati, alafu vyombo vya habari ambazo ni international. So ni makini sana, wewe jiulize maswali. Palestina mandugu zetu wanawawa, mbona wasiangazie sana huko? Na wao ndio wanachangia. Mbona inafika wakati ambapo wao panapokuwa na interest ndio wanakuja? Tafadhalini msifanye viongozi wenu waonekane ni kama kuna vile ni wabaya, kumbe wao wanashirikiana na kublackmailiwa na wazungu.
Hiyo mambo ya kusema ati vyombo vya habari haviangazii Palestine na nini, bro, like huyu msana watch news gani? Like that is the only thing that is happening, like Palestine whatever. But your situation yao I don't understand. So mimi siwezi sema ati but hii yetu hapa hivi Africa bana, these are things that affect us. Sawa? So we have to be involved. Larry Mado sio Palestine, yeye ni Mwafrika. So when something happens around here, bro, hapa ni kwao mse. If something bad happens in Tanzania, either take long that thing ku affect economy ya Kenya ama security ya Kenya pale kwa border, vitu kama hizo, and all of a sudden unapata things have spiraled into hell hapa hivi Kenya. So we have to be very very careful. We have to be very very careful. And then we cannot always say that when African politicians act badly it's because of European influence ama foreign influence. They've been conspiring, to bring this country down, to bring a particular politician down so that they go and steal. Bro, your narrative sometimes, that's just not true. Hiyo sio ukweli.
Cassypool. So this is what I would say. There's a few things that you've spoken about that make sense. However, the matter that is is now what you've circumvented. Umezunguka kusema wanafanya hivi, wanataka kufanya hivi. Hizo theories zinakuwa na some of them are true. Look at the story for Gaddafi and the next and the next. There's a couple of African leaders who've been painted.
But your issue of Gaddafi ni deadly. Like it's such a complicated matter, and I think I did a video on that. So if you're interested to understand how everything, what exactly happened in Libya, how things come to that extent, who exactly was Gaddafi, enda pale kuwacha ndapini hiyo video hapa hivi, then you just go and watch that video, because what most people do not understand regarding Gaddafi ni kwamba Gaddafi was very provocative. Like Gaddafi was particularly anti-Israelis. Initially Gaddafi hakuwa na shida na Europeans and other Western countries, but Gaddafi was anti-Israelis. Alikuwa tu na alikuwa na machungu juu in 1948 the state of Israel was established in Palestine, and that process caused the displacement of Arabs. So alikuwa he was very bitter na aka-initiate war. Kuna kitu inaitwa Berlin Massacre, and in the Berlin Massacre around 11 or 12 Israeli athletes were killed, and sources suggest that Gaddafi was the one who funded that criminal organization, the criminal organization that was responsible for the massacre of Israelis. So kuna hiyo mambo yote, hii video ndaiweka ndio enda uone hiyo video hapo hivyo YouTube. You'll understand everything about Gaddafi.
Badly because they were not playing ball with the West. That is there. For the people who've researched about it, they've read about it, it is there.
Alafu sometimes I think we also give Gaddafi too much credit. Unanipata? When Gaddafi aliingia kwa power, Gaddafi was managing 6 million people. Wadau, 6 million people kweli ni watu wengi sana. That is why alimekio changes haraka, akaleta maji, wase maisha yao ika-improve. Hiyo wakati huku Kenya, I think tulikuwa na over 10 million people, at least 10 million people. Pale Libya kulikuwa na 6 million people. Saizi hata ukiangalia population ya Libya haijarise sana. I think bado hawajafika hata 20 million people in Libya. So ni watu wachache sana, enda watch your video, you'll understand everything.
However, now, what people are talking about is none other than just the election process that happened in Tanzania, Juzi. And we saw people being killed. There are videos all over. We saw people lost their lives, and about 240 people were arrested and charged with treason, including there's this content creator who just danced to a song. And I think she's called Muna or something. And she was charged by treason, and people are just like, come on, really? Really? And the number of people that lost their lives in Tanzania was unnecessary and was also ridiculous. And when people are talking about this, now you people deflect onto other things. For example, I saw the CNN a documentary, a piece by Larry Madowo about how people lost their lives, the mass graves that were there, how people are being collected after internet was shut down and everything. When you look at that, it makes you sad. You're just like, does it have to get there? Because, let me just finish. Because looking at it, if the Chadema party was not even participating, even if they just ran a proper election, they would still have won. Because there was no opposition per se. Even if she even just got 30 or...
So, I don't know kama ulikuwa TikTok. Kama ulikuwa pale TikTok, kuna msee kutoka TZ alipost a video of lorries zikibeba ballot box, and in those ballot box kulikuwa na ballot papers zenye zilikuwa zimesha kuwa marked. Na hizo kura zote zilikuwa za Samia Suluhu Hassan. So imagine umedetain wase kwa prison, and then wase wengine umewa preventing them from participating in the election. Like you've killed the opposition, and then you go ahead and rig the election. Aye, bro. Like that is the thing that infuriated Tanzanians even more. Like, why would you do this? First of all, you are not conducting a free and fair election. You have interfered with the entire process. And unaenda hadi unaiba, bro. It doesn't make sense. Aye.
Just got 30 or 40 or 50%. She could just have won. So all of these things, you want to sideline them and go like all of this is okay. Is that what you're telling me?
Obinna.
Because you want to blame it, I think, on the West.
No,
was the West running elections?
I'm not blaming on...
Really, man, we cannot always be, casting blames and pointing fingers and like, you are the problem. Sometimes as Africans, we do fuck up, maze. And when we do, to fuck up, let's just own up to it. Hili kwa upuzi.
The West, what I'm saying is this. Did you want them to lie that they have not won with over 90-something%? The people showed up. Ni wafuasi wao wale show up. Obinna. Let's stop being emotional. Let's be factual here.
There's no way unaweza kuwa unemotional in after such a thing may happen. Well, imagine the same thing happens to Kenya. Bro, like you cannot have a rational conversation, yet people are dead. People have been abducted.
What your brother anatangaza kusema ya kwamba there was a mass grave. That place that alikuwa na satellite ameimulika ni near the city. Kondo is near the city.
Nonetheless, people walikufa. People died. People fucking died. That is what we are concerned about. Sio hata mambo ya mass grave. I hope hakukuwa na hiyo mass grave. I pray to God. Hiyo kitu ilikuwa ni venye anasema watu hawakukufa, but the fact that even mtu mmoja anakufa because of elections, that is so sad, man.
You cannot kill people. Even the military cannot kill people and go bury them near the city. If they have to bury, they have to bury in the forest. We have so many forests in Tanzania. These are propaganda that are being cooked by the same international media house, being used by our local brother. And I want to tell our local brother, you cannot sell your brothers and think that those people will trust you. They will use you and dump you.
So
why are they not talking good about Africa?
So why is it that all the
people are being killed,
pieces,
people are being butchered in Palestine? Why are you not talking about it?
Cassypool.
You are...
Mambo ya Palestine, how is that a concern of ours? Like let Palestinians and the Middle Eastern people deal with that particular issue. We have our problems. Charity begins at home. If we don't solve problems over here, there is nothing we can really do pertaining the problems of other people out there. Okay? Like Cassypool bana, usitubebe ujinga.
Painting
it's
Africa.
Like you've not been following Larry Madoff for a minute, right? You've not seen all the positive pieces that Larry has done for Africa. Some of the people in Africa doing amazing things. Places, you've not seen that.
I have seen
And those
him.
are the places that have war. You've not seen Larry in those places.
I've seen that guy kwa maandamano ya Kenya.
I
have seen that guy kwa maandamano mara mbili in this country.
Yes.
Let me tell you, there's so many things happening in America right now. So many.
Why would Larry Madoff go to America and cover American issues when there are terrible things happening over here? We wadau, uko na matanga kwenyu, jirani yako ako na matanga. Utaacha matanga yenyu, udhurie matanga ya jirani? Does it make sense? So what is this guy telling us, bwana? Ati Larry aende asijue akava. Hapana bro, atakava hizi stories za hapa Kenya, atakava stories za Uganda, atakava stories za Tanzania, because this is home bana. Hapa ndio kwao bro.
People are killed in America, but they have their way that they do their things and on a brand.
So your problem?
America. No, I'm telling you.
Your problem is Larry covering.
And it's not my problem.
You have a problem with Larry covering the bad things happening in Africa.
Propaganda.
Oh,
kuongezea propaganda. Come out with figures that are factual. Tell us the way things are in a manner whereby you don't paint East Africa or you don't paint your country.
So maandamano zetu za Gen Z, Larry akizireport pia alikuwa anaongeza propaganda.
Bro, I don't know whom you're talking about. I'm saying about sitaki kuongelea huyo nyo naongelea. Naongelea huyo mjaluo ukipara. Mimi sijui mwenye naongelea.
Upuzi. Cassypool naye sometimes. Sasa hii ni vitu gani? See, you just be grown up. Sasa hizi ni like, what the fuck are you saying? Why would you call someone Mjaluo mwenye ako na kipara? See, you just say the name. Kwani anamuogopa?
So don't mention names here.
So you're talking about Larry.
No, don't mention names here.
It's only Larry who did that.
Don't mention names. You know it's Larry. Me, I don't know Larry. I'm talking about this person that is coming up with propaganda. He works for an international media.
Hapana, mimi sitakuallow ukae hapa uanze kuongea vibaya juu ya Larry, and he just did a report as a media person. Do you know Larry went to school, bro? Larry knows the media ethics. Larry has been in this media industry for the longest time. Larry has amuka tu aanze kupiga propaganda.
Report kitu nyenye right.
So hizo vile reports your right.
Report.
So we say the only problem enye ako nayo na Larry was that the guy was just telling the truth as he saw it. Na Larry hata aliandika like kwa was it his Instagram kwa ama on his Twitter akasema my job is to cover Africa accurately, not positively. So if things vitu mbaya zikitendeka, bro, just say what is happening. Just tell the reality, expose the reality, present the reality, illustrate, demonstrate the fucking reality.
The right thing. I've asked you, aliripoti kwamba there is a video that we have that a police alikuwa butchered. Anachinjwa kama kitu kingine. You want to tell me that?
But that has happened. Even in Kenya, there was a lady police who was beaten up. And I spoke about it and I told people, no, we've not gotten to that point of fighting with police.
I'm talking about Tanzania.
But I'm telling you, the same also happened in Kenya.
Yes.
It's normally when violence starts, there's normally two sides.
What we are saying is this. When you report things that are making sense.
Let's move on. It's clearly Cassypool has been paid to come and
that is you. No. Who told you that I'm being paid?
Si we ni chawa wa mama, we ni chawa.
Who told you? I've never met Samia. Who told you? I'm just being Pan-African. Ninekuwa mtu mwenye nataka kuunganisha.
Cassypool, we are not blind. People see what is happening. And do you know today if your brother is hurting and you don't talk about it, tomorrow you'll be hurting.
But tunakosea.
Obinna,
unakosea. Why are you going live and telling people that have been paid?
Si unasemanga unena maokoto? Si unasemanga
nikilipwa?
Cassypool hujaisema unena maokoto?
Cassypool anaweza fanya hiyo kazi yote alafu bila do. Surely. Asitubebe kawa jinga bana.
Wow.
So don't. You
okay,
need
guys, Cassypool hajalipwa.
No, you need to withdraw that to the
Okay, I withdraw and I apologize.
Yes,
I'm
thank
so
you,
sorry, Cassypool, for thinking that you get paid maokoto.
Mimi sina makosa yoyote kupenda Mama Samia Suluhu, and don't force me.
Is that why you're working with people?
Before we even get to this other part of the conversation, is this thing enye Cassypool kept on bringing up kwa hii episode. If you watch the entirety of the episode, utaona huyu msee aki bring up the issue of international organizations. Hata kuna place Obinna, he pulled up some figures zenye zilikuwa provided na international organization, na is over 40 international organization, wakisema kwamba thousands of people lost their lives during the process ya elections pale TZ. Now, huyu msee Cassypool anasema ati those guys had been paid, they are being influenced by the West. But you have to understand, these international organizations such as SADC, EU, ECOWAS, AU, they have to hold these countries, their member countries, accountable, because these member countries, they have signed agreements like democracy, ensuring that that people enjoy their rights, they can express themselves freely. So every single time these states infringe on those rights and they violate some policies, these organizations and institutions have to come in and straighten things. They have to hold them accountable. That is their responsibility. For example, acha nikusomee kitu. Kwa Africa Union, there is something called Africa Union Constitutive Act. And in that act, Article 30 of the act inasema, AU promotes democracy, good governance, and human rights. And Article 4H in a state kwamba AU can intervene in a member state in case of war crimes, genocide, or threats to democracy. So, easy states, they have to hold these organizations, the institutions, they have to hold their member states accountable. And that's exactly what happened here. Si ati hawa wase wamekuwa ati wamelipwa. Most of the time ni to ensure that these states, they maintain their, the oath they made, or else watapata sanctions, watapata visa bans, watapata financial restrictions, ama suspension from other regional institutions.
Wako na kila kitu ku Google kuangalia wapi na wanaweza kuchukua kura. Yes. Hiyo awareness, IBC so responsibility.
There was a problem using in the by-elections.
So now this is another, political, issue ambayo it's very, very controversial right now. Do you feel like the IEBC is doing a decent job? Let alone a great job, a decent job in creating awareness and ensuring that Kenyans and those individuals who are eligible to vote have an easier time registering themselves as voters? Ebu skiza.
Have happened. Yes. A lot of people are coming out and saying there were no young people at Gen Zs were not at the by-elections and everything.
Yes.
But they're not understanding why Gen Zs were not at the by-elections.
Why?
Because they don't have kura.
What do you mean hawana kura na kuna 8 million na hawakupiga kura ndugu? Na ni vijana na ma-Gen Zs. Or what do you mean ama vijana si ma-Gen Zs?
Me personally I think Obinna akona mawazo yake na tuelewane vile iko. Obinna tunataka kuambia kitu moja tu, tunakuomba tukwambie usikuje tufinye vile unatufinya ndo tusiongee, tuache tuongee. Number 1, Obinna, watu walisema kuna wakati watu wanaenda kuregister, IBC litangaza watu wanaregister vote. These people are busy kuenda kuchochea watu Tanzania endeni maandamano. They are busy kutafuta clubs. They are busy kudate. They are busy doing their things, partying and doing their things. Uwezi kusema IBC jafanya awareness.
So it's priorities.
It's priority. I have not said it has not done. I'm saying they are not doing a good job in whatever they are needed to do. We have a lot of young... Bro, I've done a test here. None of these people here, including myself, know where I'm supposed to go to register unless...
Na hii sio issue yenye Obinna peke yake ana raise. This issue imekuwa raised hata ukienda pale Twitter and other social media platforms. People feel like they know registrations, voter registration inafanyika somewhere, but they don't exactly know where. Like IBC ni kazi like kwa nini hamsemi kuna station mahali fulani na hii kitu ina run from Monday to Friday masaa fulani. Bro, kwa nini hatuoni posters? Kwa nini hatuoni adverts? Kwa nini you are not giving content creators wa create awareness pale TikTok? Mtupatie pesa bana, tupige hizi nini bana, hizi adverts bana. Why are you not doing that? But for some reason IBC expect people to show up and register themselves as voters. I said they have wako na target ya is it 6.3 million new voters. I think new voters. And so far so good, wame manage kupata 90,000 voters countrywide. Hata tuone kama wata succeed.
Myself, I took myself to to Langata when Jalango was fine. That's when I took my kura.
Yes.
Okay? But that was then. Most of the Gen Zs now don't have that information. That is what I've said.
Yes.
And it could be presented better.
Maybe now you say.
That is the only thing better that I said, and we just did not agree.
These people are not aware that what wanachukua kura sasa.
No, people know because when tumesema all of these 2,000, 3,000 people watching this live, they know. Oh, kura inachukuliwa kura, but it ends there.
It's only that they are busy.
So ni wenyewe wataki.
It's not being busy.
They are not prioritizing kuchukua kura. Wako very busy kufanya vitu ambazo
wanafanya. Bro, some people really want.
Yes.
But they don't know how.
So IBC nini akuja kushika kupeleka uchukue kura.
Wadau, do you remember hapo hivyo kitambo ulikuwa unapata IBC wanakam kwa church, along the road, kwa markets, like oya wase tukuje bana, kura inachukuliwa mahali fulani and everything. I am surprised wase hawana do hata ya kuprint posters tu, hata tu kibillboard tu hakuna. Like what the fuck maze, what the fuck.
I see what you're trying to do. Good luck with whatever you're trying to do. But that's not what I'm talking about, and you know it. Okay? But this conversation about IBC and do what nini hata imaliza leo. Na even the conversion for Tanzania hata imaliza leo. So, thank you for coming.
Give me a parting shot.
I don't want to give you a parting shot. So you can start selling your agenda here.
No,
what
are the agenda?
See the agenda that you have under your heart. That's what you have. Fedora umekuja hapa na agenda yako hapa. Mimi hakuna nafasi nakupatia. Thank you very much.
Na Obinna
umekuja kuniwezea kwa hii show. It's fine.
Unajua there is notion that is going around that Kenyans, especially the media personalities, the celebrities and other people including the human rights are being bought kuharibu Tanzania. We are aware about that.
Thank you for watching.
So therefore, Mama Talid,
I'm going to see you guys in a short while with Maureen Gigi. Cassypool amesema tumelipa.
Mama Talid bana. Mnaharibia mama kila siku, mnaharibia Talid by force.
Mesikia amesema mama ata lead by force. So pia amesema ati Kenyan celebrities and media personalities have been paid kuharibia mama jina na kuharibu Tanzania. Why would we want kuharibu Tanzania? Mimi hiyo pesa sijaona. But wadau, there has been the episode. I hope you may enjoy. I hope you've learned something. And wadau, kama hujachukua kura mazee, it's high time you just go and register as a voter. We don't want such things to happen in 2027. Tusikuwa in the same situation kama hawa say. And kama hatuta pick kura and kuensure kwamba we are ready, this thing awaits us. So wadau, I hope you enjoy episode. Make sure you are, ume like, ume subscribe, ume comment if you have anything to say. By the way, Cassypool, like the conversation ilianza vizuri, but na upuzi zake, mara is a Sudanese, mara sijui ni Muganda, mara sijui whatever, like enda uangalie the entire episode pale kwa Obinna TV. Please, enda uangalie the entire episode ndio understand the context and everything. Hiyo conversation itakusaidia uone hii, understand hii video vizuri. Wadau, adios. Peace.